Hey there, sweetie. You're June, right? I'm Tammy, Joe's new girlfriend. Nice to meet you. I'm sorry to message you out of the blue like this, but I found your number in Joe's phone and just had to talk to you.
Sorry. Who's this?
I just told you, silly. I'm Tammy. Oh no, don't tell me you didn't hear the news. Me and Joe go all the way back to middle school, you see. We met up for the first time in forever at our class reunion and, well, one thing led to another. And he wanted me to tell you that he loves me now, not you, and that he wants to get a divorce.
Joe, is it? I have no idea who you're talking about.
What? Oh, come on. Are you being for real right now? I'm talking about your husband. Oh, you poor thing. Are you in shock from losing your sweet husband, Joe, to his old girlfriend? It must be so painful to learn that you're an inferior woman to me in every way. And just so you know, don't get any silly ideas about winning him back, either. I already announced our engagement on Instagram. Oh, and I included a picture of the two of us getting all lovey-dovey as evidence. Now the whole world knows that Joe and I are deeply in love with each other. Now the only thing that is left for you to do is to be a good little girl and give Joe the divorce he wants. And then we can finally be together forever.
Ugh, this is not what I needed today. I still don't know who this Joe is that you're talking about. Could you do me a favor and give me his last name or something?
What? What is wrong with you? You have the same last name. You're married. Okay, I'll make it easier for you. His full name is Joe. Your last name. Got it?
Look, I'm trying to tell you, I genuinely have no idea who the person you're talking about is. But it seems like you're bound and determined to make as little sense as possible. So let me go check with my husband to see if he has any idea what you're talking about. Okay, Tammy?
And I'm trying to tell you, Joe is your husband. Don't you get it? Are you, like, drunk or something? Or, I don't know, do you have, like, a mental disability or something?
You know what? I don't got time for this. I'm closing this DM. Bye. Hey, Harvey, I'm really sorry to bother you while you're on a business trip, but can we talk for a second?
Hey, babe. It's no problem at all. We can talk. What's up?
Okay, I've got something to ask you, and it's kind of an emergency.
Uh-oh. What's going on?
Do you have an old friend from middle school named Tammy? Apparently the two of you were classmates or something?
Tammy? No, I don't recall ever having a classmate by that name. I mean, I was in middle school. All my friends were guys.
Okay, well, maybe not in your class, but was there a Tammy in your grade or maybe in a class above or below you?
Yeah, no, I don't think there was anyone with that name at my school.
And do you know someone named Joe?
Joe? That's a pretty common name. Let me think. You know, somehow, something about that name does ring a kind of a bell, but I can't be sure if it's someone I actually knew personally or just someone that I knew of.
So you might know a Joe then.
Yeah, it's really faint, but something tells me that I did know someone by that name once. But I can't put a face to the name. I'll think about it overnight. If I remember anything, I'll let you know.
Okay, thanks, Harvey.
So, do you mind if I ask what brought this up? You said it was kind of an emergency.
Look, I'm sorry to drop this on you all of a sudden. It's just that this afternoon, I got these really bizarre text messages from someone that I don't know, and how you reacted to those names would determine whether or not that the rest of the conversation was going to go a certain way or not. So I thought I'd check with you before I got into this whole main issue just to be sure.
I think I'm even more confused now than I was before.
Trust me, it only gets weirder from here on out. And I think it'd be easier for you to understand if you read them yourself, so I'll send you some screenshots and send them to you later. So let me know when you had a chance to read them, okay?
Gotcha. I'll be waiting. Well, I read them, and now I'm even more confused than I was 20 minutes ago before reading them.
Right? I mean, that's kind of what I expected you to say.
Well, let me see if I got this straight. This Tammy person met up with her old boyfriend from middle school, Joe, at a class reunion and started an affair with him. And Tammy thinks that you're Joe's wife for some reason. So she spills the beans on her affair to you, then declares that she's going to marry Joe. And now she wants you, my wife, to divorce Joe you're not married to, so Tammy, his mistress, can marry him.
I say that sums it up pretty well, but I still have no idea what's going on.
I feel like I'm having an aneurysm just trying to comprehend this.
I think the most likely story is that she simply has the wrong phone number. But since I don't know anyone named Tammy, and neither do you, I don't really know what I should do about all this.
Hey, wait a second. Didn't she say that she got your number from Joe's phone, whoever that is?
Yeah, you're right.
That's the case. Then that would mean that Joe had your name and phone number on his phone, right?
Oh, yeah, I guess you're right about that too. But the thing is, I don't know anyone named Joe. I mean, if I could at least get his last name, then maybe I can get one step closer to solving this bizarre mystery, you know?
Tammy said that you have the same last name. Is that anything for you to go on?
Well, I never did end up giving her my actual last name. I was kind of torn, if I gave her my last name, then I might be able to put an end to her confusion right then and there, but at the same time, I felt like it would be best for me not to give her my information so she knows who I am.
That was good thinking. I'd say, who knows what she would have done if she got your full name. Well, it's like you say, there's really nothing for us to go on at this point. My last meeting over here is in the morning, so I'll be coming home tomorrow. If you feel unsafe staying in the house by yourself tonight, why don't you head over to my parents' place? I'll call my mom to let her know you're coming if you want.
I think I would probably be able to sleep easier if someone else was here with me. Thanks for taking the time to talk with me, Harvey. I know you're really busy over there.
Hey, it's no trouble at all. I'm here for you. Let me know if anything new happens, okay? Good night, June. I love you.
Good night, Harvey. I love you too.
June, I remembered.
Oh, good morning, Harvey. What did you remember? Oh, is it about the conversation from last night?
I know who Joe is.
What? Really?
I was talking with my colleague who came along on the trip with me. I brought up your mysterious texter without giving any specific details. And that's when I realized who Joe was.
Okay, who is it?
We're leaving the hotel right now. I just got into my car, and I'll be on my way home soon. It'll be easier to explain in person than by text, so I'll tell you everything once I get home.
Okay, I'll be waiting. Ooh, I'm so excited. Okay, be careful on your way home.
Hey there, June. Are you still playing hardball on giving Joe a divorce? Come on, grow up. Seriously, set the poor man free.
Oh, it's Tammy, isn't it? How are you doing today?
Cut the small talk. Are you going to get a divorce or not?
Okay then, let's get right to the main point. First off, whose husband are you talking about exactly? I mean, if we don't get that settled, then we won't be able to have much of a conversation at all.
What? Oh my God, are you still pretending you don't know who Joe is, your own husband? I am sick and tired of wasting my time. I want to marry my sweetheart Joe, so hurry up and divorce him. You miserable cow.
I'm not a cow, but hear me out, just a moment. I've been doing a lot of thinking these last few days, and I think I realized a couple of things.
What are you going on about?
I'm not the June you're looking for.
Huh?
When you went through Joe's phone, you must have stopped at the first June you saw on his contact list, right? The June whose husband you slept with, who was probably right after me on that list.
Wait, what?
Yeah, in fact, I'm pretty sure I know who this Joe is now. And our last names are usually right next to each other alphabetically. So, if you would have scrolled down just a little bit further, you might have noticed that there were multiple entries under just June, but I guess you just stopped short because you were just so anxious, you know.
I don't believe this. Wait, then what's your relationship with my Joe? I mean, your name was in his contact list, so it's not like you're a total stranger or anything. Who are you exactly?
I used to work with Joe.
Really?
Yeah. And Joe and I worked at the same company up until 4 years ago. We used to work together pretty frequently, so we both had each other's contacts on our phones. But Joe was never one to care much about new technology, so I bet he's still using the same phone he had back then, which would explain why my name and number were still on it.
Then why didn't you say anything about that the other day?
Trust me, I had a very good reason for that. Because, you see, back when we were working together, Joe always used his business name while he was at the office.
A business name? What is that?
It's like a pen name. Authors don't always write under their real names for various reasons, and Joe did the same thing in his business life. I only ever knew him by his business name, and that's why I wasn't sure who you were talking about. A friend of mine is still working at that company, and when I happened to bring up your text about Joe, she brought up his business name, and that's when I figured it all out.
Oh, I see.
Yes, it does. So I hope that you can see now that texting me and demanding that I divorce Joe isn't going to get you anywhere, so I'd appreciate it if you would stop texting me starting.
Okay, wow, oopsie. Okay, so I guess now I need to go find his real wife's phone number then. Ugh, these last few days were such a huge waste of time. And our wedding is this weekend.
This weekend?
Yep, and I rented out the restaurant that my uncle owns for the reception. It's going to be so great. I'm having a $20,000 wedding at my uncle's restaurant. And that's why I announced it at our engagement on Instagram. I invited all my followers, so I bet at least 100 people are gonna come. Maybe more, I don't know. So I've got to hurry up and find this real wife so I can get them to divorce by Saturday pronto.
You really are something else.
Okay, well, I don't need you for anything anymore, and you can go now. I've got to find Jill's real wife, and really, really fast. Bye-bye. Hey, June, do you think you can contact Joe for me?
Huh? I thought you said you didn't need anything from me anymore. I'm not the June that you're looking for, remember? We already discussed this.
Forget about all that. That's not what's important right now. I just need you to contact Joe as soon as possible.
Oh, I'm gonna regret asking this. Okay, what happened?
Today's the day of our wedding, but Joe still hasn't showed up. And none of his family or friends have arrived either. No one from his side of the wedding is here. I've been texting him and calling him all day, but he's not responding. I mean, what's going on? What should I do? Can you help me?
Oh boy, if I were you, I wouldn't plan on him coming anytime soon, to be honest.
Huh?
I actually heard about all of this from a third party, and apparently you got Joe drunk at the class reunion and then spent a night with him, right? And then you used a picture that you took together with him to blackmail him into continuing your relationship, and finally you tried to push him to marry you. Isn't that right?
That's not true! Okay, so maybe that's how our relationship got started. But that, as it may be, is the fact that we shared our love for each other time and time again after that. And it's gone on long enough that I'm positive that he does love me. For real.
Wow, that is an interesting theory. And if it was true, then why is he not there at the wedding waiting for you down the aisle?
Ugh, I'll bet his evil succubus of a wife has him tied up in their basement or something.
Wow, I'm actually starting to feel really sorry for you.
What do you mean?
The only means you have of getting someone to be with you is not to lie, trick, or threaten them.
Oh, how dare you!
Look, I'm only telling you this because Joe himself gave me explicit permission to tell you that in the event you ever tried to contact him again, he's no longer in this country.
What?
He found out that you had posted the picture you had taken of him for blackmail on Instagram. And after that, he immediately told his wife everything about how you got him drunk, took advantage of him, blackmailed him, and now how you were trying to force him to marry you. His wife could see from the way he was talking about it that he was truly terrified and was acting out of his own volition. She thought it would be the best thing for him if he were to step away from everything for a while, take some time to work on their mental health, and he resigned from his company. His wife knew a therapist who specialized in that sort of trauma who works at a clinic overseas. And they've already left the country together to go and get so much needed help from what you've caused.
What are you saying? Joe and I are getting married today! There's no way that can be true! I love him, and he loves me! And we're in love, madly in love! And we're gonna be together forever, and he can't leave me behind like this!
Honestly, I say that you're madly, desperately in need of some mental help right now, too.
Shut up! None of this concerns you, you miserable cow!
Yeah, I know. That's what I've been trying to tell you ever since you first started texting me that unfaithful day. And I have nothing to do with any of this.
But why isn't Joe answering me?
Simple. He got a new phone specifically to prevent you from ever being able to contact him again.
No! He can't do that! I won't let him hide from me! Tell me his new phone number right now!
I don't know his new number, and I wouldn't tell you even if I did. So for the last time, I am done dealing with your utter mess of a crazy life. Never contact me again.
This can't be happening. Today was supposed to be the happiest day of my life! Where are you, Joe? Give me back my Joe!
She started spamming me with texts demanding that I give Joe back to her, which continued despite explaining multiple times that I don't have Joe. So I blocked her. I heard about everything that happened after that from my husband, who also works at the same company. The day after the wedding, that never happened, Tammy stormed into the company's headquarters screaming, "Give me back my Joe!" at the top of her lungs. And unfortunately for her, he had already resigned. So her visit was completely pointless. The company called the police and her temper tantrum was put down. Oh, and I'm sure you haven't forgotten about the $20,000 price tag on the restaurant for her wedding that she was bragging about. It may have been her uncle's restaurant, but $20,000 is the sort of money that he couldn't simply overlook, even though it was his niece. So she's now working in the kitchen every day of the week until she's fully paid off her bill, and it's going to take a long, long time. Also, Joe and his wife are making preparations to sue Tammy for, well, just about everything that you could sue someone for. I mean, blackmail, defamation, sexual assault, you name it. So as bad as Tammy may think she has it right now, it's only going to go worse from here.